Over the next few videos, I'm going to be talking about an innovation made possible by computer science, Bitcoin. I'm going to explain some complicated concepts in an easy to understand manner. But before I get to how Bitcoin works, I really need to introduce why it's such a disruptive innovation as a new currency. So here's the thing. Before there was money, people had to barter to get what they wanted. So if I wanted someone's cow, I would have to trade a few of my pigs for it. Or if I wanted bread, I would have to create or offer something and negotiate a trade with a baker. While this may have worked in small communities back in the day, it's easy to see the flaws in this system. What if I don't have something that you want in return? Also, I don't even like negotiating, so if you wouldn't accept my pig in exchange for bread, I'd probably never have a sandwich again. However, if both of us can agree on giving value to something else, something that could represent a unit of value and is easier to use, then we can both benefit by using this thing to buy and sell goods and services. And this thing I'm talking about is money. So now we have to ask, what can we both agree to use as money? What characteristics should this money have? Ideally, it shouldn't be easy to counterfeit or fake. Otherwise, what's to stop one of us from just creating an infinite amount for ourselves? And we should be able to verify that it's also real. So how about gold?
I love gold!
Gold forms when a star explodes in a supernova, or when two neutron stars collide, and that's not going to be an easy process to replicate. And because we know its density, we can make sure that what we're getting is the real thing. The density of gold is 19.32 grams per cubic centimeter, in case you're wondering. So now we just have to get other people to agree to use it as a medium of exchange too. And let's say we do. In fact, we're so successful that people start looking for gold all over Earth to become rich. Good for them. However, we do have to consider the effects that this will have on our gold. Every time new gold is found and the amount of gold in the money supply increases, our gold loses a little bit of its purchasing power. And as more and more gold is found, the prices of goods and services increase as each unit of money loses its value little by little. The growth of the money supply is one of the causes of something known as inflation. Inflation is the reason why a movie ticket that cost 10 cents 100 years ago costs $15 today. If we're going to be okay with inflation, perhaps as an incentive for people to put their money to use, then the inflation rate should probably be low. Now, because finding and mining new gold is not easy, this keeps the inflation rate low and keeps our purchasing power pretty stable. Throughout history, many governments introduced a paper currency that was backed by gold. In the US, in 1834, it was decided that 1 ounce of gold would equal $20.67. Now, don't ask me how they determined this to be the value, because I have no idea. But this made it easier to carry around and exchange larger sums of money, instead of needing a mountain of gold for bigger purchases. However, this also meant that governments needed more gold if they wanted to print more paper currency. And because governments have found this limitation to be pretty inconvenient at times, many of them got off the gold standard throughout the 1900s. Now, I'm not saying that doing this is good or bad. However, history is full of examples where governments printed too much money too quickly, causing massive hyperinflation to take place, or too much inflation in a short period of time. Check out the Wikipedia link on hyperinflation in the description below. Zimbabwe experienced massive hyperinflation in 07 and 08 when its government printed too many Zimbabwe dollars, causing prices to nearly double every 24 hours. They were on pace to have an inflation rate of 89.7 sextillion%, which is just crazy. And the Zimbabwe dollar isn't even the worst case of hyperinflation in history. That title goes to Hungary's hyperinflation in 1946. Just for comparison, the target inflation rate for the United States is about 2% per year. I haven't told you all of this to scare you. I'm just stating what can happen when a government increases the money supply by printing too much money too quickly. And at this point, you may really be wondering if I'm trying to become the next Graham Stephan, or how all of this relates to computer science. And I'm close, I promise. Right now, because of the pandemic, the US is printing an insane amount of money every single day. And we won't know the full effects of this for months or years to come. But it's probably not a good thing for any of us that have cash under our mattresses or have money in our savings accounts. If only there was a currency that couldn't be printed out of thin air and whose total supply and inflation rate are known and predictable. Oh yeah, there is, and it's called Bitcoin. And we're going to be going over it in the next video. So if you want to be notified when that comes out, be sure to hit the subscribe button below. Bitcoin is not perfect and not without its own flaws, which I'll get into, but it's a really interesting computer science solution to the problems that I alluded to in this video. Bitcoin allows anyone with an internet connection to exchange value across the internet to anyone around the world in minutes, without needing to go through a bank. How cool is that? I'd like to hear your thoughts or questions about anything I mentioned in this video, so post it in the comments below and I'll get back to you quickly. If I don't respond, then I'll owe you a burger from the Wendy's $1 million menu one day. Just kidding. Hopefully I'm just kidding. I guess we'll see.
Can you characterize everything that the Fed has done this past week as essentially flooding the system with money?
Yes, exactly.
And there's no end to your ability to do that?
There is no end to our ability to do that.